New question. Member from Toronto Danforth.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question to the Premier. New Democrats know that privatization of hydro by the Liberals has hurt Ontario families and businesses. But we haven't forgotten, and neither have Ontarians, that it was the Conservative privatization of Ontario Hydro that helped get us into this mess in the first place. It's time to stop the damage that the Liberals and Conservatives have done to our hydro system and take immediate steps to regain control over hydro costs. Can the Premier tell us, after 14 years in government, when will she finally take action to deal with the hydro crisis that her Liberal government has helped create?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've been taking action since 2003, rebuilding this system, Mr. Speaker. We've made sure that we've invested in renewable energy, Mr. Speaker. We've invested in making sure that we have a reliable system, a clean system, Mr. Speaker. One that I know the Minister of Health is very proud of as well, Mr. Speaker. We have a system that is seeing reductions in our air pollution deaths being reduced by 23%, Mr. Speaker. Air pollution hospitalizations being reduced by 41%. We all know, Mr. Speaker, that this investment in building our system, in eliminating coal, and making sure our system is clean and green came with a cost, Mr. Speaker. And with that, Mr. Speaker, we've worked hard. We are continuing to work hard on finding further reductions for families. 8% was on the off of their bills come January 1st, 12% plus that 8% for those in the Hydro 1 R2 areas, Mr. Speaker, and we'll continue to find ways to help.
Supplementary.
Speaker, the Premier has never taken the hydro crisis seriously until it became a political crisis for her party. And as for the Conservatives, they're offering no real solutions. After 17 years as a Conservative politician, people have no idea where Mr. Brown stands or what he's proposing to do. The NDP knows that people have to be at the centre of hydro policy, and the time for action is now. If the Premier thinks so too, will she immediately halt the further sell-off of Hydro 1 and come up with a real strategy to address the hydro crisis?
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, there is no cost increases related to the sale of Hydro 1. We all know that, Mr. Speaker, within this House. The Ontario Energy Board is the agency that is quasi-judicial that actually sets the rates. But when it comes to the Premier and this government actually taking it to the next level and finding ways of reducing costs for people right across the province, Mr. Speaker, we saved $3.7 billion by renegotiating the Samsung agreement. We saved $1.9 billion by reducing the FIT prices, Mr. Speaker. We've created the competitive LRP process, which saved $1.5 billion. We suspended the LRP2 process, Mr. Speaker, which saved $3.8 billion. We also, Mr. Speaker, got new dispatching rules for wind, saves $200 million. We're going to continue to find ways to help families right across this province, Mr. Speaker.